been so far from the ground, but I'm not looking down. Feel the warmth of the breeze rushing over me. Now it's soaring high, reach and touch the sky. We can touch the sky, feel alive. We can fly, we can fly. Touch the sky, feel alive. We can fly.
All right, here we go.
Happy Friday, everyone!
Yay! And it is a happy Friday. This has been a good week. Like nothing in particular, but it just feels like a lot of projects that were kind of weighing on me. It's like, oh, I really feel good if I got those done. I got them done. So I'm feeling good this Friday.
It's hard to get back into the work groove after like a long weekend, right? So
yes.
But after Tuesday, working till like 9 o'clock at night, I was like, I busted through that stuff.
Hey, that's a good feeling. Wow. So on Tuesday, you were already kicking butt. Oh, it took me till like Thursday when I was starting to feel like, all right, now it's been a good week.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. It's not about how the week starts. It's about how it ends.
Really?
But you'll notice we have a few new toys sitting on our desk that weren't here last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what those are, and let me adjust my mic. I feel like I'm way louder than you. So. And by the way, everyone in chat, feel free to help us out. If there's ever an audio issue, let us know, because that's the one thing we can't do is hear ourselves. I can see us, but I can't hear us. But anyway, this is the Poly Studio P15 and the Poly Studio P5. Two very new, as in like within the last couple months, devices from Poly. And I did a video a couple months ago when it first came out for the big one, the P15, which is doing pretty well on YouTube. I'm getting a lot of good comments. People were curious about it, happy to see what I thought about it. And I just 2 days ago or 3 days ago put out one for its little sibling, the P5. And that's now out too. So we thought this would be a great excuse to catch up with our friends in Poly. Obviously, they're busy. They're putting out new products. It's a video world now, and they're a video company. So I think they might have some things to say. So what do you think about having a little visit with some Poly friends?
I think that's a fantastic idea, David.
All right, let's do that. Now, usually what we do is I'll bring our guests into the studio. But Poly's a video company. Let's go visit Poly headquarters. Here we go. I'm so cheesy.
It's such a beautiful day out.
Nice. So nice. Now, Poly's a video company. I would think they would have some sort of special, crazy magic. Whoa, right outside their headquarters.
By the miracles of modern technology. How you doing?
Great to see you. Chris, could you please introduce yourself for our guests?
Sure. So I'm Chris Thorson. I'm a senior director of product marketing here at Poly, and I get to play with all the new tools and toys as they come out. And that my team's responsible for making sure that everybody out there is aware of what we've got and how we're really trying to change the video and audio world for the better, right?
That's it. And particularly now more than ever, because we're changing the way we work, we're changing the way we live, and video is a crucial part of the new normal. So one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about is the whole topic in general of returning to the office. So let's return to the office ourselves. Here's our executive boardroom.
Whose office? This is not my office, but I wish it was. That's like old school,
Serious.
yeah, East Coast up in a high-rise building somewhere is what it feels like to me, like we're in a hotel or something.
This
Yeah.
actually it is. It's a fancy New Orleans hotel.
New Orleans. Okay, there we go.
And this honestly is this isn't what Poly's all about anymore. But when I first became introduced to Poly, when it was Polycom, this was my feeling of Polycom as a company. It was about not just the boardroom, but definitely the work environment, the meeting rooms, at that time, the expensive, complicated, just it's a miracle any company can make it work. Poly gets video to work. It was really
absolutely
hard. One of
I have said for years, like if you think about the pandemic, had this occurred even 5 years earlier, we would have all really been kind of screwed, because
it was too hard back then.
Could never have scaled so fast. Like when we were selling video bridges in big rooms, like you weren't going to get people dialing in remotely, or even the little remote apps that we had were so touchy to get them, and they had to dial into still bridge ports. And how would have we made enough bridge ports to scale up to hundreds of millions of users? We wouldn't be able to do it. And even the cloud software stuff that was there at the time didn't really go that big.
There wasn't a lot of cloud.
The confluence of people having home bandwidth, the people, the platforms having the scalability, and people having the right tools to be able to deliver video at scale in a rapid succession. It was amazing. We were actually very lucky, and I was very proud as part of this industry to be able to help deliver it over the last year.
Yeah, and it's from the lessons we learned back in the days when it was hard. Back when you mentioned a video bridge, the RMX. I used to work on the RMX. It was a great video bridge. And Kelly, I don't know if you know, the RMX was this device before we had cloud video. If we wanted to do video calls, what do you call? There's no cloud. You can't just call each other. If you have 10 people, you'd have to call 10 people. You can't call 10 people from one. So we needed a video bridge, and it was this device. It was a big box server, and Poly made one of the best ones, the RMX. I loved it. And the fact that thing was able to process HD 720p video, and it was the later versions with the chips of the day, chips that we had 15 years ago that were so weak compared to the chips now. Poly had to get really smart at video and really efficient at making things work, because it wasn't easy. And then the industry as a whole carried that to today. Now we're so good at video. Everything works great. We got the chips, we got the know-how, and so
we don't have the chips.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. The chips are powerful enough. We just don't have them.
Yeah, we don't have the chips today. Yeah. It's also true that, like, you talk about Poly as a video company. We were seen as, it's only about the rooms, and everybody said, well, this remote stuff, everybody's going to be doing video from their PCs, and it's going to kill your guys' business. And I think we're actually doing better than ever, because we always, and I remember saying it at different conferences, like, desktop video is actually going to be good for us. And we're about to hit this inflection point that I've been waiting for almost my whole career, in that now that people understand video at home and that every call should be a video call, when we finally do go back to the office, I got to connect those remote people. And now I've got to have as good of an experience in that conference room, in our now virtual conference room here, as I have at home. Because in my home, I've got my whole setup. I got 3 different monitors and a whole bunch of different cameras. Great, I have access to a lot of tech. But when I get back to the office in the conference room, I want to walk in, I want to press one button, I want to join the call, I want to sound great, and I want to be able to use now my own laptop to take my own notes, so they don't have to. I mean, some people will use the USB BYOD solution, and that's great. But your room should be outfitted to be a standalone space. And that's going to be the next little learning curve that's going to happen. But there's going to be absolutely a desire and expectation, because half my employees are probably not coming back to the office, and definitely not coming back full time.
Yeah, it used to be the meeting room solution had to be good, provide a good enough experience for the remote person, for that one person who couldn't make it to the meeting.
And they were second-class citizen, by the way.
Yeah, and we were okay with that. It was as good as it got. But now they're not second-class citizens. Now it's sometimes the boss is the remote person, and it's half the team. So it has to be good. And
so you're going to see a lot from us coming out. The storyline really in the next year is about meeting equality, right? We're going to be talking about how do I make sure the guy at home and the guy in the room all feel like they're an equal participant, so that because the opposite is true now. I may be full screen, and you've set this up very nicely, so we're all relatively equivalent, right? But in the conference room, if you're in that Hollywood Squares kind of setup, the conference room participants are these little tiny dots. And so you got to be able to, with stuff like Zoom Smart Gallery, and Microsoft is doing the same kind of things, be able to zoom in, pick out the one individual, bring them full screen so that everybody has their own place. Everybody's equal. And you're going to see a lot of things coming from us.
We should give PEXIP a fair mention. They have something like that as well.
Yep. I hear you too. I mean,
but it's good to see that it's not just one company that's doing this to try to be different. It's a lot of companies realize that this is a need. We're going to have people in gallery view, and yeah, they all need to be right sized. And I love the fact there's a few different approaches to it. I think that's really cool. But the result is anyone with a poly camera, if you're using these services, you're going to have a better experience as they hone this in, because if you look at this is the typical shape of the old boardroom, and the way the cameras were set up is the most important person, the boss, she's all the way at the end of the table. You can't even see her or him. And the people who are all the way at the front, they're all huge and distorted. And we need to do smart panning and zooming and active framing and all these different technologies to figure it out. And I can't say which approach I like best now, but I love the fact that we're getting a lot of creativity. The companies are really coming up with stuff, hardware and software. I mean, you guys do that. This camera I have right here, I'm on the P15. I'm going to have it turned off now so I could do my magic tricks. But when I'm just doing a regular call, I turn on the adaptive framing, so I don't have to worry about framing myself. Wherever I sit, I lean like this or I lean like this, and it'll figure it out. So those kind of things from.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can turn mine on here. I've just got to go change a quick setting in there.
I hate to play with settings mid meeting. I don't want to mess you
up. We'll leave it alone. I know what you're saying though.
Do you think that this type of stuff, so like the framing and everything and the cameras, and like we all want it to be seamless as possible, right? But do you think even after the pandemic and everybody's been on Zoom and all this stuff, like people are going to actually understand and be able to do it on their own? Or do you think...
that's the whole thing. I don't want people to even have to think about it.
Well, yeah.
Right? Like it's like I think the room camera tech is the best example. Just go in there and we'll cut back to home stuff for a sec. But think about in that boardroom, can we go back to our wide boardroom? Because so in that boardroom, if I was walking in today and I had to pick a seat, right? Which seat are you going to likely pick? You're right. The big boss is going to be over there at the end and everybody's going to be on their seats on the side. But I will put money on the seat that is going to be sat down in last is the one that's got a little remote of some sort next to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what kind of remote that is, whether it's one of these kind of remotes or whether it's a touchscreen remote. People do not want to have that. They don't want to be in charge of the remote, right? I think that's right. And so, but I want that to just not, I want it to be walk in the room. The meeting has already gotten up and started for you. And then as I sit down, it's automatically doing these pan and track and framing up and picking out the speaker. And I want all that stuff to happen automatically. And so that the person doesn't have to feel like they're doing something new, right?
Automagically?
Yeah, come on, automagic.
But it really does. I don't trust, nothing against users, but I don't trust users to get it right. I mean, Kelly, you work for AV integrators. They would put the cameras in the room. Would the people then take the pan, tilt, zoom and do it right? Or just however the camera was set, that's how it would stay for 100 years?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is the ease of use. You can create the coolest room or whatever, but if nobody uses it, what's the point, right? So...
And it has to use itself, basically. It has to you just walk in and do the meeting, and it has to...
You just have to dumb it down as much as possible.
Right.
Exactly. I learned that recently with the iPhone. The iPhone, I had an iPhone since, I don't know, iPhone 4. I wasn't one of the first wave, but I've had iPhone for 10 years, and I've always struggled with making my folders make sense. To try to make a folder for business stuff, and a folder for communications, and a folder for reading. and it was always a mess. It never worked. And last year they put out a patch where they do the folders for you. I'm like, I don't trust them to do. They don't know what they do it better than
It
me.
works.
They do it better than me.
Yeah.
So
I like
I
it too.
deleted all my folders and I use their folders. It's
Yeah.
I'm sorry, computers are smarter than us. So I want the computers to make my folders, and I want the cameras to frame me. I don't want a remote control.
All right, so let's give it. I am gonna try to change my camera here. Let's go see. All right, so let's see if it'll start to frame me up. Oh, I see some motion. So yeah, so like sometimes I like to get up and move around and talk. So as I kind of keep talking, there you go. It finds me. It's gonna say, oh, that's where Chris is, and it's gonna frame me around. And if I want to move around, like if you're a teacher, right? Like, and you got your classroom, you got your whiteboard here behind you. It's going to be constantly looking for me. It's going to find my eyes, my nose, my mouth. It's going to frame me up and say, oh, okay, look, that's a better shot for Chris. And it's going to give me, I've got it set to kind of a slow setting right now, so it can make those decisions once I've kind of landed. Otherwise, you get people sick on the far side.
I don't want too much motion.
No. So we can frame an individual. We can frame 2 or 3 people. So, it can, get an optimal view. It's trying to get your eyes in the top third of the view. But then we can even do a live setting where we call it a presenter track, where it'll follow you like as you're moving, and it's very quick to do. So, but that way I don't have to think about it and like, oh, guess what? I don't have to have a stand-up desk. I can just stand up.
So is there like a setting where you can, not show below your waist in case you just don't feel like wearing pants?
I'm glad I wore my pants today because I didn't think about that.
I think it always
jump
goes
down
for
here in a second. There we go. It's going to work its way.
It tends
down.
to go for that, newscaster torso shot.
If you look at my eyes, like I said, you don't actually want to optimize. Most people will try to stick their face right here in the middle.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of extra head space. If you look on TV production, they talk about the rule of thirds.
Yep.
You want to be in the top third here, or you want to be in the side thirds, or ideally in these like corner thirds, make the most sense. So, we're doing it, and sometimes we'll do a smooth pan there. Sometimes we'll do a hard cut. Like if I just totally jump off frame, it's like, oh, I lost the person, but they're over there. It's easier to do a hard cut. Yeah. So there's a lot of rules going around the background.
That's cool.
And so this is I'm on our X30 right now, but we also talked about our P15, which David, you're using. So this was a new class of product for us that was really like a, personal version of take the room stuff that we're doing and give it to everybody themselves. So it's got camera framing and tracking. It's got 4K. It's got, built-in speaker. It's got the little bass port on the back. So it sounds great. It picks up audio great. And I can even do some of the cool acoustic fencing stuff. So if you go outside the fence, you can make sure that, somebody could be talking, or if there's, the now dogs barking outside your window, or a lawnmower guy, you won't hear that. So this is really a professional grade device for that work at home exec or that full-time work at home person. So new from Poly, great stuff.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using now, and I should mention, I'll put a link. I don't have the link in the chat now, but I'll put a link in the description after this video is over to the video I reviewed of it, because one of the things I think is a strength of that device is the software it came with, the software that you just use to turn on that feature. There's a lot of great cameras out there, and they either have like old, outdated software to manage the settings, or you have to use third-party software. And I'm sorry, out of the box, the camera doesn't know. It can only do so much adapting to my light and whatever. I might have to get in there and tweak the brightness. I might have to get in there and turn off the light balance, or turn it on, or tweak it. And it's really hard to do with a lot of cameras out there. So you guys didn't just have a little widget for that. You made a full blown, like I was going to say home office app, but it's really not, because I have it in my home office. It really works for home office, but a full-blown management app to manage this. And then when I plugged in the headphones, it was managing the headphones. And then I plugged in the other laptop, so it's for all your stuff.
Yeah. Lens will do all that. Lens is our app that does that. And there's two ends of it, right? You got the IT administrator end, because you're saying, you know what? I've got all these devices. I need to get them updated. I can push those updates out. I've got all these devices. I want to see how well they're being used. I can do that. I've got all these devices. I want to see, are people using those rooms and counting people in the rooms? So we're doing stuff like that. But then as an end user, you get a little, what you're accustomed to is that little widget in the bottom corner of your screen. And you say, oh, my brightness is a little hot. I want to go take that down a bit, right? Like, oh, look at my, I'm getting a little bit of brightness coming off my head. Okay, so I'm going to take that down just a smidge there. I wish I could fix that. If you ever cut your hair, just send it in a box. Maybe I'll put it. You probably add it through.
I was going to say virtually we can get you some.
You could probably virtually add some hair, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with Lens, you can go in there, you can customize those settings really easy, and keep everything up to the latest and greatest software versions. Make sure that you get download and adjust the settings to what you want. Turn on framing, turn off framing, turn off fencing, turn on fencing. And you can do it on those, like that P15 we've got, or like here's that little P5 guide. I know you had it on your desk here, but this is just to kind of give people, size wise, right? It's a typical kind of web, I'll put it right in front of my shirt. There it goes. And then the other thing that's cool about this is there's always something like, oh, I want to show you what it looks like outside. Well, you can just, pop the top of the camera off and use it like the document cam, or, look outside, and it's got a nice little shutter that you can close.
Grenade.
That's not even the coolest thing. Kelly, watch this. Show her the trunk space. It's got trunk space.
Oh, yeah. And then you can pop out the back. Let me get it out here closer. So you can pop out the back, and inside there, you can put in a little USB slot. Because think about how much stuff you got hanging on your PC these days. You've got your, wireless mouse that might be on there, right? You've got your headset stuff. So we said, we put these in a bundle with our headsets. We say, put your little wireless
the dongle for the headset goes
in there. Close the door. There we go. Sorry.
Is it USB-C or USB?
USB-A.
Okay.
USB-A. So so it's a nice little convenient thing. And when you want to put it back on top, it's like a little magnetic connector, snaps in nice and tight. Nice little swivel.
I love that little.
Now, that I've been saying for a while.
It's pretty too. It's not black.
It's a little spaceship. I like it.
Yeah.
I've been saying for a while that the market has, a very popular $200 webcam that people are using for streaming, and a lot of popular $100-ish webcams. And I talk to streamers all day, and this isn't our world, and this isn't business, this isn't executives, or not even executives, this isn't intelligent workers working at home. This is kids streaming games and stuff. And they always get caught in this box where they say, I don't know if I need to spend $200 on a webcam, but I think I might want something a little bit better than the $100 one. And I've always thought that, Poly, you guys know how to make stuff, right? I mean, how to make video stuff.
Yeah.
You're in the position to make something right in that gap. And this fits in this gap. It's like 130, 140.
Yeah, around there.
But are you guys going to take this to that world? Are you really focused on business enterprise, or are we going to approach the streamers, kids on Twitch, and say, hey, this might be what you're looking for?
I would love that, because then you go real big real fast. It comes down to a question of where am I going to put my marketing dollars and what am I known for, right? Poly was Polycom, Plantronics come together. Those aren't exactly consumer household names, right? There's a lot of money that goes into marketing and becoming a consumer household brand. Yeah. But I would love the fact for people to start understanding that, you've got this business class, business grade stuff that I can now get, for the $150, it's $130 in my hand, right? Yeah, something like that. Maybe it's $129. This is like a $500-$600 device, right? So this is definitely my IT guys are going to give it. But the great part, it's still USB, USB-A or USB-C, so it's not hard to set up. I mean, you just plug it in. That's the beauty.
Right.
The one that I'm using now, I'm on an X30. It's got a brain. It's got a codec. It stands alone. I can put it on the top of my TV at home and call my mom using Zoom, because I can load Zoom software on it. I can load Teams on it. I can use the Poly app on it, and I can call their stuff. It doesn't need a PC, and that's the beauty of an X or an X series. They've got the processing power built in. This one just uses whatever app that you've got on your desktop, and they'll plug it in, and away you go. So we're about bringing. We made a conscious turn at the beginning of the pandemic to say we were all about business grade codec stuff. We need stuff for personal spaces, And that's why we came out with these things. And then the other one, so I got one other little product to show you. The other direction.
Hi to Alexis in chat. Chat is king here. Chat is king and queen.
Oh, yeah.
We love our chat. So thank you, Alexis, for chat. Alexis thought the pop-off camera was pretty cool. So everyone seems to like the pop-off.
So the other one we've got is the Sync family. This is the other family that came out. And what this is a portable Bluetooth speakerphone, right? So different from conference phone. So conference phone category, or Polycom was known for, right? Deployed in offices, ties to a IP PBX. It's got a brain. You walk in, you dial, you go. This one I pair up to my mobile phone, Bluetooth, make a call from whatever, and it's got great poly audio, great pickup. I could be, at the other end of my room here and has great pickup. It's got a nice little integrated cord that I can just wrap around and tuck away when I'm done. So I can plug in with USB, I can plug in with Bluetooth, and I was just out camping this last weekend and my phone ran out of juice. So I just plug it into the little USB port on the back of my sink.
Oh, it's a battery.
And 10 minutes later, I use the battery from this thing to charge my phone. It's kind of a nice little feature when you're on the road.
That's awesome.
I forgot about that. I did an unboxing review of that, and I forgot about that feature. It's been
That's a nice feature.
I'll put the link to that in the chat in the description.
And by the way, we've got some of our older products too, right? This was our former VoxBox or Callisto 7200. The mic pickup on these things is very, very near equivalent. Where the Sync really differentiates itself is the bass. When you play music on this thing, it sounds like it doesn't have the bass. It's great for audio pickup, but man, you put music outside with the friends and family out. Now I've got something that really sounds good, and we've got the 40 flavor and the 60 flavor that are just a little bit bigger with a little better sound.
That kind of sounds like consumer-facing marketing.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'm just thinking that's outside with friends and family listening to music. That doesn't sound like being in the office.
Things are dual purpose these days, right?
We can dip our toes.
We're working from anywhere now.
No, but it is true because and I think I said in my review of that, we have this mixed lifestyle now. We're not just I'm in office mode, don't talk to me for 5 hours, and now I'm in play mode, I'm not going to think about work for 5 hours. We multitask. Right. So I will absolutely be on a Zoom call and then 5 minutes later through the same device listening to Van Halen. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just in the course of this call, I've had my wife call me up. I've had, my kids call me up. We've had, a whole bunch of stuff going on. I said, it's life is just interspersed, right? It is the way it is.
That's the new normal. And I think it's a good thing. We've been asking for that for a while. If I take a break in the middle of the work to talk to my family, that's not a loss of productivity. That's being a human being. So
yeah, that's totally it. I mean, we used to get up and walk around and talk to people. Now we walk around and talk to our dogs.
Well, it's funny. I went into so I was filming some stuff for a video we were doing internally. I went into the office for the first time, in a couple of months. And the office is all barren. But one of the interesting parts is we had X30s in all the huddle rooms. So they've gone around and they've started to deploy, our newest tech in all of our huddle rooms to get us ready for back to the office. I bumped into 3 or 4 random people, guys I've been working with for the last year who got hired on, saw them for the first time. I'm like, wow, that's how tall you are, right? That's always the first thing after you've been on video with people. But it's great to see that organizations are planning to come back to the office. They're getting ready. I think people want to go back to the office for interaction. I don't think people want to go back to the office every day.
Yeah.
But I think they want to go back occasionally and see their friends. And I think that I've said all along, this is a shift. Some companies are going to get this right. Some companies are going to get this wrong. The companies that get it more right are going to end up keeping their people and doing better. And the companies that get it more wrong, they're going to see some attrition, and people are going to say, look, I'm not down with this. And I don't know what right is. And I don't know what right is for your company or for fellow folks that are out there. But they need to pay attention to it culturally, technologically. We got to get this stuff right, because it is a definite shift that's occurred.
Oh yeah, we've all learned that we don't have to be at the office to work. There's some things we need to be at the office for, to collaborate in certain ways. Now we can collaborate over video, but there's some collaboration you could do over voice, some you could do over video, some you need to be sitting at the same table. So I think we're going to be going back to the office for the things we can't do at home, but we're going to need to be connecting to the people at home. And it's not going to just be video in the meeting rooms when we do meetings. It's going to be video in every room, because wherever you're at the office, you need to be collaborating with people who are at home. So it's going to be more of a video culture, not less of a video culture. And it is important because it's not just about productivity. It's about people are at a place now where they can say, I'm willing to work for a company that pays a little less if they don't make me commute. Commuting turns your 9 to 5 to it's really 7 to 6. It's crazy. Every day just to sit at a computer that's not as good at the computer you have at home. So we're gonna see the
setup, right? Because everybody kind of gets their own setup, and that's what I want to use, and that's what I'm accustomed to, right? So I think we're gonna have to be trying to lure people almost back into the office, to say look, I can have as good of an experience in the office as I've had at home.
I want to shift over. I have let's go to our movie theater. I have a couple clips I want to show. There's a product that I want you to share with me, but before the product, I want to show this video of a feature that's in a lot of your products. Kelly, you gotta get ready for this. We've been talking about noise cancellation, and it's it's a very large issue. It's a very big issue, because people are working at home, and there are dogs, and there are children, and there are lawnmowers outside and whatnot. So, I mean, we want something that'll sort of quiet those things down. And what I try to do is try to have my microphone very close to my mouth, my headset very close to my mouth, to minimize it as much as possible. But there's also software that does that. And if you can get rid of some dogs barking, or my fans humming, or my computer humming, that'd be great. But Chris, there's no way you'd be able to do something extreme like get rid of the noise on an open boat out on the water.
No, you can't.
That can't be.
I think we could do that. It couldn't be possible.
That can't be done. It'd be. You sent me a video. I think you're about to embarrass yourself, because this is going to sound horrible, because that's just not something that. Let's see what we got here.
Now that we're all hybrid working, some people choose to work from a coffee shop. Other folks like to go to a park. Personally, I like to be out on my boat. Well, the problem with boating is there's always a lot of noise. You have the outboard engine right behind you. You've got pelicans and dolphin making a lot of noise. You have other boaters as well. All that noise can be disruptive to the entire call. But with Poly's Voyager Focus 2 and acoustic fence technology, that noise no longer bleeds into the call, disrupting anyone. So no one knows if you're at your home office or your office on the water. Talking of which, I'm going to go ahead and hop on my call right now. Yeah, everybody. Hey, it's Bob here. I'm going to be just joining over audio today. It turns out my internet's down.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, my internet's down. That's what he tells me. Great. So now I know he's I'm onto him now. That's my guy Bob Knopf. If you've seen any Poly videos over the past 15 years, it's probably something that came through Bob.
Yeah, Bob's an industry legend.
He is a legend, and you should probably have him on the show one of these days too.
We definitely should have Bob on the show.
But no, that literally his boat motor is going now. I don't know how often people are distracted by dolphin, but hey, apparently they're loud, right? Who knew?
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. It's been a while since I've been on a boat, but you can't even hear your own thoughts. It's like just the wind screaming by. I mean, forget about the engine. Yeah. The engine, just the wind noise. It's amazing that it's able to reduce that.
And then if you crank up the stereo, it's real bad.
Especially if you're in your boat, yeah.
But obviously, if you can do that, it's going to handle the noise from my ceiling fan, which is really what I want to do. Just that constant humming in the background.
So this is probably over on this side. Yeah. This is our Voyager Focus 2. So Voyager Focus has been kind of like the star around here in terms of lightweight, comfort. It's got this metal kind of band on top where a lot of the weight comes from, and this nice little spongy piece that sits on your head. Real, you can use it on either side because of our boom mic. And it's set up just so it's in the ideal position on your head to be able to pick up. And it's got 6 different mics on there, so it's listening to all that noise around, and it can, with our acoustic fence technology, listen to the background noise and say, oh, that's the boat, that's the engine sound over there. This is Chris's voice sound over here. I'm going to turn the mics off from that direction and just listen to Chris's voice. And that's how we do some of this. So that's to help the guy in the far side not hear the background, but it's also got a 3-position ANC or acoustic noise cancellation. So if I just want to, focus on what I'm doing and not hear the guy in the lawnmower that's, outside, it'll block out those sounds if you're in a busy office, or maybe, your kids are off and they're playing their games in the house as you're home. Or if it was back in the office, it might be you got a noisy neighbor in the cube next to you, right? So great product, great audio. And as you can see, that really sounds exactly like how Bob sounds. So
I think we have a
winners all
promo
there.
video. Let me play this. I just love using the movie theater. So let's.
Sound. Waves emanating 343 meters per second in every direction. To us, only 2 sounds matter. Your voice and those on the other end. The rest must simply disappear. Advanced digital hybrid active noise canceling keeps you focused on what matters. Acoustic Fins technology gives you confidence to speak freely on the most comfortable communication headset we've ever made. Introducing Voyager Focus 2, smartly engineered for audio perfection.
Nice.
Does it sound like? I think it's great that we're in a movie theater. Doesn't that seem like a movie trailer? It's like dramatic.
It does.
Dun, 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 dun.
Little video.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
you need to cut. We should have cut that out, and then you do your little MGM intro, right? So it's kind of like
Oh,
the
right,
trailer
right.
before the little thing.
We'll have to do more things together. But I
Yeah.
love the blue bubble. I'm a very visual person, and
Yes,
audio
it
is hard
helps.
to visualize. But seeing the red waves that I didn't want to come in, and the blue waves blocking it, that worked for me.
Good. Yeah, that's what we were going for. We said, how do we make it land that this is, a fence, that the sound is not coming in, and it's just going to literally create this little bubble around the microphone on there and just hear you and not hear everything else. So, yeah, we're trying. We're trying in our marketing to have a little bit more fun, be a little more visual and a little more impactful.
And you got to
Good.
know, when to. You need to be able to control it. I actually had this issue. I was taking a guitar lesson over video using the Discord app of all things. That's just
Right.
what my guitar teacher uses. And for the longest time, he couldn't hear my guitar sounds coming through the computer. It's because Discord's noise canceling was canceling it. I had to figure out how to turn it off. So you got to make sure you got to make sure you're only canceling what you want to cancel.
I know exactly. I had the same issue with my son. Was on his doing his bass lessons, bass guitar, and his instructor was like, "Yeah, I'm not hearing anything." I'm like, "Yeah, you got to turn all that stuff out." That's basically what the old Polycom music mode was doing, is turning off all of the noise cancellation, echo cancellation, and getting the pure unfiltered sound, which is what you need. And that way you could actually have, 2 people on the other ends of the call playing music together simultaneously. So.
Very cool. Well,
Awesome.
I'm trying to think
Magic.
if there's any topics we actually, there's one more topic. We talked about returning to the office. We talked about meeting equality. Half the team's not there and everyone's just as important. And we talked about the fact that you guys are kind of getting more of a comprehensive line. It's not just about the meeting rooms. We're on the desktop. We're on the desktop at home. The last thing we wanted to ask you about, and let's go to a more casual, it's on our last topic. Let's head to the pub. You got a beer?
Oh, there we go.
We got some cocktails.
All right.
We got our
now
sushi.
Now we're ready. I got my.
Forgot mine.
It's our happy
You
place.
didn't bring your Montucky? Sorry, I
No.
didn't bring my martini. So
We need some more buy-based drinks.
bye. Oh, okay.
Can we make a cocktail with this?
Still before noon.
Man, a martini sounds good too. Shoot.
I
Maybe
want to make
later.
a cocktail with Buy, and I think Buy should sponsor this podcast because I really
There you
enjoyed
go.
this
There
stuff.
you go.
Oh my
So
god!
you got some sushi. It looks like. Is that
Yeah, we
okay?
got the sushi, we got the martinis.
Nice.
So the last topic I want to talk about is there anything you want to talk about in terms of overall strategy for Poly? Strategy has been really, I mean, when I was first covering Poly, strategy was easy. Video is impossible. No one can do it except for Poly and a couple other companies and do it well. So if you want video, you got to use us. And then there was this cloud revolution. And we're going to switch from hardware to cloud. And how are we going to do that with partners or this or that? And then we figured out, hey, you know, we're making some really great devices that people want. Let's focus on that. And we're doing really well with it. And then the pandemic hits and the whole world everything's different. So, you know, when the big brains at Poly are sitting around with you and talking strategy, where are we looking?
Yeah, that's a great point, because you're right. It was kind of a 2-horse race, us and that other C company. And, you know, that was how you had to do video. If you want to do video in rooms, there's a few people that used it and a few people that, you could do it remotely, but it was, as you said, it was hard. Cloud came around. The guys actually from the VoIP service providers that, we sell a ton of phones to, and they've been doing cloud telephony for a long time. Out of that, offshoots came the WebEx and content sharing guys. And out of that came the video guys, and they started growing. And at that point, we made a strategic decision and said, what do we do really great? We do audio really great. We do video really great. We do devices really great. We do hardware really great. We're going to focus on those things. And we're going to, rather than try to build our own and fight against all of those guys, and and some people like, Life Size went out there and tried to build their own network end to end. Well, we don't see them around much because you alienate everybody else. And we said, it's going to be an ecosystem play. We're going to do what we do great. We're going to be that first, they talk about last mile. I almost want to talk about the last inch, right? That translation between, you and the analog world that I live in, and digitize that and get it across the wire, right? And so whether it's my audio, whether it's my visual, whether it's even, writing on touch boards and touch panels, we want to do that experience really great. Let the guys in the back end, and now we get to partner with all of them. So I can partner with Microsoft, I can partner with Zoom, I can partner with Ring Central, I can partner with 8x8, I can partner with, Google and Facebook and on down the list, right? Because it's just video stream to me. They all want to look their best, and we just want to put great gear in people's hands. And so that's where our strategy is all about. Partner with those leaders, build great devices, build the great audio and video tech that we can, make sure we support it with our services offerings, make sure we're able to easily manage those things through, cloud-based software applications like PolyLens. And that's what we're doing. And guess what? It's paid off pretty well for us. And the timing, as we talked about earlier, couldn't have been better from our perspective. We're glad to see this acceleration, and that's what it's been, is acceleration. And I think it's going to continue and change a little bit as more companies in the small, medium-sized spaces realize, when I go back to the office, I got to do it right.
Yeah, it's no longer just an enterprise play. I mean, everyone needs this. I love that. I love the strategy. One thing I love about the strategy is it kind of ties into a historic strength of Poly, or Polycom, even going back. If you really wanted to someone who took a 10,000 foot view of Polycom in one word, it would be starfish, right? That iconic.
That was Polycom, certainly.
That was Polycom, that iconic starfish phone that was on every meeting room table in the universe, that everyone loved it. No one ever had a problem with that phone. I didn't have a problem with that phone. Everyone thought that phone was cool for decades. And it wasn't the network behind it. You weren't phone operators. It wasn't, it was, like you said, it was that last inch between, my hand and the call button. And you guys were always great at that. So, hey, let's lean in.
And we still are with our Trio. I didn't break out a Trio here today, but we still are great with Trio. We still are with headsets and the like. And, you'll see as we talk about our portfolio, it's really about that, meeting equity, meeting equality, making sure that, everybody can sit around the bar with their martinis and sushi if that's where they want to be, or anybody that is in a conference space versus remote, or, maybe they want to be on their boat in the water and, mailing one in one day. It doesn't matter. We want to be where people are. We want to make sure those experiences are great. and they're not distracted by things that are, outside of their control, and make those experiences so easy that they don't have to think about stuff. Right? They can just let the tech do what the tech does.
Yep. Let the tech frame me. Let the tech make me look good. Let it make me sound. When this pandemic started, everyone was like, "What's the cheapest webcam I can get? I just need to connect to my meeting so I can get work done until we get out of this." And now people are like, "I'm going to be on video a lot. I'm tired of this bad angle. I'm tired of this bad lighting. I want to look good. I want to sound good." And
like me in my translucent state. Like, I need a better camera.
I got one more. I got a suggested upgrade for your show, though.
What's that?
You know what you need to do? And actually, I want to add it on maybe on as a new Zoom feature. I want an applause button and I want a laughter button, right? So as we're going through our day, how nice would that be? Like,
I forget to use
that's
it.
What I want. There we go.
I forget to use it, but I do have it. And
you gotta have. So you got it because you're the leading edge guy on the. But I want everybody to have that in your meeting, right? Say something clever, sure, go. Right? I've seen like the little emojis; those are cool. I'm all down with the thumbs up, thumbs down, voting buttons. But I want to see more people have more fun.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that. Oh, that's fun.
I love the old like sitcom effects when someone says something risky. Ooh.
Yeah.
Or oh, you're the best.
Aww.
Yeah, see, totally. We everybody needs that stuff. But maybe could you imagine if the computer was doing that automatically for us and it was jumping in all the time? At some point, you'd be like, "Oh, come on!"
Oh, shut up.
It will be soon. It's going to recognize. It's starting to really understand us a little too well. I don't play this game, but there's a game called Grand Theft Auto, and I watch sometimes other people play it online, and you have a little character that walks around, a little avatar, and it recognizes the tone of your voice. If you say something like this, your guy goes like this.
Oh, really?
Like he emotes based on what you're saying, based on the tone of your voice. It's really.
Oh, I got to go check that out. My son has played that one. I have to admit, it's not a PG-13 game.
No,
let's just say
not.
that. Yeah.
There's a lot of violence and stuff. But yeah, it's video starting to understand us, and it always whatever starts in the game is going to wind up in the business. So we're gonna.
I think you're right.
We're gonna see some reactions in video soon. All right. Well, I think I like to just keep talking and talking and talking. I have a list of things, but we'll just have to have you back because it's been an hour and it's Friday. I think we need to get.
I would love to be back. This is super fun. I'm gonna steal this setup. I love the backgrounds. I love the way you're interspersing things. I've already got my ideas for my next sales conference and partner conference. We're doing it like this. We may give you a call to be one of our hosts.
Yeah, if you want to meet offline for some tips with the software I use, let me know. Before we go, I do have to hit our. I don't know if this button's gonna work, but let's see if this works.
Inconceivable!
The huge counter.
Oh my god.
Every time I say huge on screen, because I say it funny, Kelly calls me out, and I said it twice this stream.
Twice. I caught you twice.
Inconceivable!
All right, so we're now up to 6 on our huge counter. It's not the best gimmick, but we're working on stuff. We're going to have a lot more fun bits and stuff. We're really starting to have some fun with this show. So please be sure to keep tuning in. We'll be back next Friday. Guest TBD. And thank you. Let's bring Chris back for a quick thank you. This is a really great
Chris.
conversation. Thanks for sharing everything new with Polly. And with that, let's head off into the. Oh wait, hold on. No, we're not done. We're not done. I forgot. Wait a minute. We have to have our final thoughts.
Yes, final thoughts. I was waiting for that.
Oh my goodness. I almost ended without our final thoughts.
Oh my
Why
goodness.
is this place in the universe? Wisdom Mountain. There we have her.
Okay.
The wise one.
So today I will start off your weekend with, it's not necessarily like a weird or wild fact, but because I'm up in Minnesota for a couple weeks, I realized all of the cool things that Minnesota has that the rest of the country really doesn't. And one of them is, did you know that meat raffles are a thing? So
meat raffles?
You can go to a local bar and you can play bar bingo, but you can also do a meat raffle where you can actually win pieces of meat from the local butcher. So you can take home you know, a nice pork roast. You can take home stuffed chicken breasts, all of these amazing, wonderful things. So yeah, that's my wonderful wild fact to leave you guys. So have a wonderful weekend.
Meat or store-bought meat?
What was that? Sorry.
Homemade meat, like somebody went and shot it and made their own deer sausage, or like we just went down to the grocery store and I'm gonna auction off some hamburger.
It's local butcher shop stuff, so it's not from the grocery store. It's straight up. I don't know if they went out and shot it themselves, but it's good quality stuff. So.
Minnesota's really got some stuff going on there. Did they serve it with ranch dressing? Whenever time was in Minnesota, everyone has ranch dressing on everything.
When I used to work for a restaurant, and they always called it gringo dip.
That's awesome.
Kelly, you're the best. Thank you everyone for watching. We had a lot of fun in the chat. Paul, thank you for all your comments in the chat. Paul says he saw someone who did a movie style credits at the end of a call meeting, a video call. What a great way to end it. That is a good idea.
That is a good idea.
I want to see more fun stuff like that in video.
Go Paul.
Go Paul. All right. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kelly. And now I'm going to hit this button for real.